Hey everybody, Pastor Matt here. I wanted to talk to you about the different stages of leadership that goes on regarding our development. And really they've come down to 4 stages, and I've adapted this from Ken Blanchard in his 1 Minute Manager. It really spoke to me quite a bit because when we begin to come on as leaders, and especially in the context of our church, where many times we may have brand new leaders that are coming on, you can sit around our church council table and kind of look around and see the people that are really enthusiastic and are ready to go. And you can see the people that maybe are about to spin out, but you can also see the people that seem to have settled in and they know a bit about what's expected. They know a bit about what's going on. Maybe not necessarily because someone's poured into them, but it's just because they've kind of found their lane. But I think we need to make sure that we have this clarified so that everybody can really begin to understand the stage that they are going through. So if you've read Ken Blanchard's book, you've seen the D1, D2, D3, D4. But I'm going to refocus it because I want it to be for our context, and I want it to be really in a way that I can remember it. So let's look at the first stage. The first stage is the pumped stage. You are pumped, you are enthusiastic, you're eager, and you are ready to go as far as your new position. You begin to, you have all of this energy. You have all of this desire to be able to serve Jesus. And you begin to, and what can happen is that you really move forward. You really move forward with a lot of gusto. You may end up putting too much on your plate. And this is really cool because it's exciting for the church to see, especially if it's a new leader, especially if it's a young leader. People are saying, wow, isn't it wonderful how God's working in them? Well, this is the point that we really have to take care of them and make sure that we're helping them and reining them in, not simply because they're trying to kick up some dust that we don't want kicked up. That's not it at all. It's for them. We, as churches, especially established churches, need every bit of energy that we can get because we have so many people that have been through all of these different stages and may have the wounds and the scars or may just not have the energy anymore to really want to do it. We can come along and really begin to infuse some life, especially if you're in that pumped stage. So it's good for you if you're a young leader like this or a new leader. You're excited about it. But here's where you go from the pumped stage to the pressure stage. And where's the pressure? Well, when we're in the pumped stage and we're brand new and we really haven't done it before, we have all of these scenarios about how it's going to work. We're working in the theoretical. This is what's going to happen. It's going to make so much sense. This is going to do so much for the kingdom. But the issue begins to realize, you begin to realize that suddenly you start actually working with people when you get into that leadership position. And not everybody may share your thoughts. Not everybody may have the energy that you do. Not everybody may be ready. And on your end, you may be spending so much time doing like 3 or 4 different things when really you should be finding your one thing or maybe your 2 things. But if you're doing 3 or 4 things, you begin to feel pressure not only from the outside, from people that aren't on board and don't have and share your enthusiasm. You begin to feel pressure from the inside about whether you can manage all of these different things. And that's where the pressure is. And this is where burnout happens. And this is where people begin to spin out because they've gotten so disillusioned by others who have come along and have discouraged them or telling them, you've got to do it this way. You've got to do it this way. And they're not letting you find your way. And you may because they don't have that energy anymore, you may not want to get advice from them. So the pressure comes from without, the pressure comes from within, and it's at this stage that a lot of leaders just walk away. They give up any kind of leadership in the church, or they move along and they go to a brand new church where maybe they have a clean slate and they begin to start that pattern all over again. Telling you you've got to be careful because the third stage, and I don't have it written out, but we'll go over it. But the third stage, then it becomes the potential. The potential. This is where Ken Blanchard says that you're cautious but optimistic. You've fought through that second stage. You're ready to keep moving. You've learned a little bit along the way that maybe you can't spin 4 plates. Maybe you can only do the 1. Maybe you can only do the 2. And you begin to realize that maybe these folks that are having a hard time with something that you're saying, maybe it's because they've already been through that stage and they may have settled in. But here's where the difference is. You will have people that are cautious but pessimistic. But you, because you understand the vision of the church, you understand God's call on your life to do these things, you stay optimistic. And you see the potential of what can happen regardless of what people may say and regardless of what you may be feeling. You still know that there is some use and there is some value to what God has done in you and what you can bring to the table. And then you get to this last stage where it's the peak. You can self-regulate. You don't have to have other people coming along and micromanaging you. You begin to understand your role. You begin to understand your lane. You begin to understand your gifts. And then you are able to pretty much self-regulate. And then you can come along and help the people that are pumped to have a realistic understanding of what's going on and to set those expectations. Then you can come along to those who are in that second stage of where they're feeling the pressure to quit, the pressure to just fly off the handle with people that don't get it. You can come along and be able to help them come along and to remain, yes, cautious in this way because there's still things they have to learn. But now they're beginning to move and to be optimistic about what's happening. Let me ask you this as a leader, what stage are you at? Are you young and ready to do it, ready to conquer the world? How long will it be, though, until you may get to that second stage? Because it will happen. And you'll want to walk away. You'll get burned out. You'll want to spin out. You push through that and let people know how you're feeling. Because I want to leave you with this. As a pastor, a lot of times, the only time that people really begin to come to me is when they're about done. And they can be done with their marriages, their family, but they can also be done with their leadership. But if you recognize the stages that you're at and you own it, and you go and be able to find some help, find help with me or find some other fourth stage leaders that are really, really able to move forward and to help, you will find that you will be able to flourish as a leader. Your competency will go, your character will increase, and all of these stages will serve, as you really begin to look through them, will serve to be able to help you pour into others who are going through these stages. You'll be able to see it from a mile away. So again, this is Pastor Matt, ARBC. This is part of our way to help you lead with joy. May God bless you, and I'm glad to be back with you again. Take care. Bye-bye.